All right, so Attorney Griggs, before we went to break, I had a question for you. Did they do anything technically actually wrong by protesting? Like, what counts as protest, and then what counts as, I guess, whatever they was calling belligerent behavior, or
like, was it the
out of pocket? Was it the bullhorn? Yeah. What really got them messed up?
So they violated rules of the House, which had recently been changed, and so, having the bullhorn at the well technically could be a violation of House rules.
Okay.
Now, I've heard a lot of people online and some of the legislators saying they violate the law, but they weren't arrested. So, I actually researched Tennessee law, and if you do disrupt a public meeting, that is a crime. So obviously they didn't disrupt the public meeting because they weren't arrested for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, technically, yes, they violated a House rule. The proper response would have been to censor them, to have them escorted to their seats, something like that, not to expel them from the House. Because, again, there have been far worse things done in Tennessee, namely a legislator peeing on another legislator's seat.
Yeah, that's
they didn't get expelled.
That's out of pocket.
Yeah.
So I want to know more about that.
I got some questions. About
How you pee on somebody's seat
That's the
and you
ultimate
not
disrespect.
get and
What
you
was
not
he
get
trying to prove?
and not get expelled?
or charged?
They were
Or
angry.
right,
Indeed,
Obviously
she was
angry.
right.
Really you really
Clearly-
attacked me.
clearly.
like you pulled out and peed
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's
in
wild.
front of a lot of people.
in front
Right.
of a room full of people.
Okay, so I know that they can have their seats back, right? Like
Yes.
they have to do like a whole nother vote. Or can you explain the process of actually how they can get their seats back and why we need that not to be the case, but we need them to get their seats back ASAP?
So they can have a special election, or the city council in both jurisdictions can appoint them back to the seats. So now the city of Nashville City Council is saying they have enough votes to reappoint them back to the seats. The city council or county commission in Shelby County in Memphis is in discussions about Mr. Pearson's seat. And there are pressure on both bodies saying that they will take away funding from those counties and those cities if they reappoint them. So basically, there's either going to be an appointment or a special election. If there's a special election, I think after the attention that both have garnered, I think they win in a landslide. But really what they need to do is just be reseated, because I think that there were several rules and procedures violated. Their constitutional rights were violated in how it went down. And so I think that that's another route. So there are three routes. Of course, suing for the constitutional right violation and the state law violations, the special election, or appointment back by the local bodies.
Man, I think
much.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I think it's dope that they actually did it. I mean, not only that they're young and black, gifted men, but they see something that we all see, that there's too many mass shootings. There's no restrictions. Anybody can just go ahead and purchase a gun and then use it at their own will. And we're seeing, like, it's almost like every week we're reporting about somebody getting shot or multiple people getting shot
Can I ask y'all something?
at random places. Go ahead.
Do y'all feel like the school shootings and mass shootings in general, do you think that's a gun problem or a people problem?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, the access
The
to
access
high
to 'em.
capacity weapons, which we've been talking about for almost a decade now, maybe
Right.
longer than that. Because like y'all were talking about Columbine earlier, I remember Columbine. I also remember Sandy Hook.
Virginia
I
Tech,
remember Virginia
all of them.
Tech. I remember all of them. The spa shooting here in Atlanta. All of these high capacity weapons being used. And the argument's always, well, it was a mental health component. Well, y'all not even funding that system.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you're
That was
either
my
going to
point,
fund mental health or you're going to stop using that as an excuse.
I think you're right.
And I think what people need to fully appreciate about what the Tennessee 2 did, it was in the spirit of John Lewis. It was in the spirit of Julian Bond, who also was almost expelled out of the Georgia state capitol when he did a similar thing during the Vietnam War era. And so these young men have now entered the pantheon of legendary civil rights work. And I salute them for that, because we
Absolutely.
need that new generation to understand you got to get in some good and necessary trouble.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you get in the way, because John, in 2017, I believe, had a sit-in on the House of Representatives in Washington because of gun violence, because of common sense gun legislation that was not reaching the floor. So they're in a long line of legendary warriors, and I salute them.
Definitely. So, Attorney Griggs, before you get up out of here, tell the people what you got going on, how they can follow you, how they can tap in.
Man, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Attorney Griggs. Follow the Georgia State Conference of the NAACP at Georgia_NAACP on all social platforms. And let's make sure we lift up the Tennessee too, and let's make sure we get in some good and necessary trouble, y'all.
Hey, you heard it first here. News and Talk 1380 WAOK. Salute to Attorney Griggs. Big bro, you already know you got an open invitation anytime you want to come up here. You know, just hit the line and you in here. We'll be right back. Desi, we got the Echinacea coming.
Yeah, we got the tea coming soon.
Tea is coming up, so stay tapped in. 404-892-2703 if you got something to say. Shout out to everybody in the Odyssey world at 1380 WAOK. VITS Unfiltered Radio, ATL, and all social media. We'll be right back.